Good morning and welcome to episode 8 of the Bob and Kevin Show. On today's episode, we'll do rapid fire headlines, the Hawaii UX nightmare with our special guest, Erica Quessenberry, the Bitcoin crash of 2018 or of this month, and Amazon HQ 2.0 shortlist. Is it really that short? And of course, our YouTube famous quiz segment. It's Monday, January 22nd. So let's do this thing.
Good morning, everyone, from the control room here in Columbia City, Indiana. And I've got Bob with me, as you heard there. And good morning. Good Monday, Bob.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing really well. Had a couple glasses of water already. I think I'm ready to rock.
Awesome. So I'm going to come strong with it. So in the pre-show, I saw you had a little fidgety thing. Can you show everyone the little fidgety thing?
Little toy that I picked up through the holidays, little fidget cube. It's got everything you could possibly imagine.
Oh wow. All right, maybe we come back to that, but
spinner.
Yeah. Okay, now's good. Hit me. I want to know.
But you want the whole feature breakdown?
Give it to me. Got
the spinning knob here. We've got the switch. We've got a little thumb groove here. It sees more action than I ever thought it would. I love these 5 dots. 3 of them actually click. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yep.
So that's tons of fun. I spent a lot of time on this one. There's 3 little dials here, and then there's this little ball bearing, but the ball bearing also clicks in. It's just great. And the joystick. Can't forget the joystick.
Yeah, so I've got everything on my desk. I don't have anything as cool as that, so I'm gonna have to actually see what one of those runs me, and imagine
$10 on Amazon.
Awesome.
And it's wood grain.
Ooh, I wonder if that would be a good show giveaway, for people.
Well, you can't give away mine.
Good point. Yeah, let's possibly acquire one for our faithful listener following. Okay, Bob, did you have a good weekend? Did you watch any football yesterday?
I did. Actually caught both games yesterday. It was very nice. Weird, though. It's some of the first football I've probably caught in 6 or 7 weeks because the Bears sucked so bad that I stopped watching. So pretty good game watching. I know everybody hates on New England, including you, but
yes.
They pull it out. They do all right.
Yeah, yes, I hate on New England. In the realm of sports, I think it's okay to hate a team. I would say I'm a faithful Colts fan. Let's just go with Colts fan right now because they haven't been very good in very long. So, but I'm doing my part by hating on the Patriots. Tom Brady, let's just get clear, is the greatest quarterback of all time. I get it, but I'm tired. Between that and Alabama winning, I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick and Nick Saban are praying to different gods than I am because, yeah, whatever. So. Okay.
Oh, that is too funny.
There was a bunch that happened this last week in tech headlines. So,
well, before we get to tech headlines, though,
go for it.
I think we've got to mention that everyone needs to pour one out because we have a segment that's actually that left us this past week. A little moment of silence for the Twitter poll segment.
Yes.
We're basically doing some self-throttling. Twitter reached out to us and said, hey guys, you're getting so much traffic on your Twitter polls that I think you guys need to possibly limit the number that you run or just shut it down.
And for the 5 people that had ever voted, we appreciate it.
So the Twitter poll is going to take a little hiatus until we can figure out how to build up all these social media channels and maybe get more than 10 votes one week.
And so speaking of social media, you can still follow us at Bob and Kevin Show on Twitter. And if you want to share our channel, it's actually very easy. It's bobandkevinshow.com. But yeah, we're actually doing quite well with our Twitter followers. So make sure you share with the show. So yeah, goodbye Twitter for now. As far as the polls go, we'll see you again one day.
Yes.
All right. Now I can go ahead and use this highly customized, very expensive tech headlines thingy here. So, and Bob, do you want to go ahead and prep the crew here? In fact, let's show off our new view here. So we got this view here that we can talk about all of our headlines.
Yeah, so we're doing a new segment now. We're going to call these quick hit headlines for a while until we figure out what else. But we're going to start out with some basically just news of the week that we may have missed. Kevin and I will look through the internet each week and kind of find some interesting, if not odd, stories to share. But this week, I think we're pretty mellow. We're going to start out with Facebook's new push to boost the quality of newsfeed content. So basically, they're going to be sending out user surveys, and part of the user survey is going to ask if you're familiar with a news outlet and how you rank that news story. It's going to be interesting because I think the media probably gets an overall bad rap. So they also said that more local news will be coming up in your social feed. So if you are still a member of the world that hasn't ditched Facebook, look for some changes in the news feed coming soon.
Yeah, so I've ditched Facebook mostly. I mean, I have it. I got rid of it off my phone. When I do use it, it's because I want to upload some pictures of my kids to family members and get reminded that I forgot somebody's birthday. So that is the Facebook experience for me. Though this does kind of ask, some questions in my head pop up. I just want to roll past you real quick. So if they're going to do targeted news or ranking news, America's very split, polarized, red state, blue state, and the news organizations kind of fall in line with that, if you ask me. So right. Here we have very, very strong conservative talk radio, and there's almost nothing liberal. And so does that also include radio, I guess, an aside? So does it mean that now we have even more focused, we'll have more focused news, or how do you think that'll work, Bob?
They don't, of course, with everything tech, it's always light on the execution details. It's always, big on the idea and light on the details. So right now, there's not a whole lot. And the early criticism is just that exact stuff that you brought up. How are they going to do that? It's a global community. However, it is, echo chambered to the hilt, which is part of the reason why people have, left it. Can't stand the bubble. Can't stand the echo chamber. So I think this is a valiant effort. We'll see how the execution goes.
All right. Next topic.
Moving on. Google tackles the Chromecast Wi-Fi blasting bug. Apparently, if you have a house filled with Chromecast and Google Assistants, what happens is if you try to cast something to a device and that device is sleeping, all those requests for casting get queued until that device wakes up. And when that device wakes up, it creates a router flood situation because all those requests are trying to get through. So basically what you could do with those Chrome products or Google products is take down your own router in your own home network. So Google is pushing out a fix to that through the Google Play Store and a release coming soon for your Chromecast and other Google products.
Do you have any Google Home products, Bob?
I am an Amazon person, so I do not. I started with Chromecast. I think Chromecast was my gateway drug, basically. Mm-hmm. So that was my gateway to other tech. So I think I do have a Chromecast or two laying around in a drawer somewhere, but none of them are actively plugged in.
Same here. We're an Amazon family. All right, moving on here.
This is a fun one for me. Morpheus, the ping pong playing robot. We talked about robots at CES last week. We had the clothes folding robot. And of course, my digital girlfriend, Sophia, was there. But this robot was also in attendance at CES. This robot plays ping pong. It's being billed as a table tennis tutor. However, this robot is 10 feet tall and will not fit in anyone's basement or playroom, last I checked. But it uses a unique combination of cameras and AI to analyze a shot that's coming toward it and within milliseconds know how to shoot that shot back to its opponent. So, the machines are evolving.
Well, it looks like some weird War of the Worlds / arachnid praying mantis creation. One of the subtleties is, see the little table tennis net there? It's got like some sort of rotating text or something on it. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I know it's the little things. I guess we're supposed to be happy about the robot, but I'm kind of actually excited about that little, how are they doing that? So looks really cool, really creepy. My kids would run and hide. So
it does look like a spider. It looks like a giant ping pong playing spider.
Yes. Yeah, not cool. Cool, but not cool. How about that? All right.
This is something near and dear to my heart. This next headline, Bootstrap 4 is finally out. I think it's been in the making for 2 years, I think, at this point. So they Bootstrap does video song releases. They always tag a release with a song, and so they picked Journey's "Don't Stop Believing," or "Believe In." I guess it's got a exclamation point or a whatever they call those things at the end. But so anyway, yeah,
I think it's apostrophe, Bob.
Apostrophe, yes, thank you. That's why we're a team. Yeah, so it's finally out, and it is basically, for those that don't know, it's a web framework, front-end framework for creating responsive websites quite quickly. People will say that it's bloatware, and there's all kinds of other alternatives. It's just like JavaScript. There's a different flavor that comes out all the time. People are always building these frameworks, but I am a long-time Bootstrap fan, so good to hear that Bootstrap 4 is finally out.
All right. I'm actually was using Alpha a little bit, and I know there's a lot of haters on Bootstrap, but it just works. Sorry, guys. Moving on. What do we got here?
We have the Amazon Go, which is their digital store offering. I guess it's not digital, it's actually brick and mortar, but it is a checkout lineless and cashierless storefront experience. So you basically go in there with your Amazon Go app and you pay with the app, and then it lets you outside the gates. I think that's going to be how it works, which is a little creepy now that I say it out loud.
Yeah, and I was curious about the wine and the alcohol. So there is somebody, like a human being there, that checks IDs and things like that. But not going to lie, even though I have every intention to pay for whatever I would go in there, I would be like, oh my God, did I get, this sparkling water and it forget to charge me because it saw that I had a banana and only charged me for that? Am I going to jail now? This is just irrational fears I have.
Well, you know how it is when you go to the store and they forget to take the tags off your clothing and the beep, beep, beep thing goes off. I mean, yeah. Luckily it's in Seattle, or not luckily, but unfortunately it's in Seattle. You and I won't be able to go check it out anytime soon.
Yeah, so I wonder if they have loss prevention associates to come and say, sorry, sir, come on back here, we'll check your bag. Or maybe they just have a giant death ray because it's all automated. I don't know.
Did you just say loss prevention associates?
I've worked in retail before.
I was going to say, that sounds like in the gig lingo. Jeez.
Yes. I once upon a time, I was a Circuit City associate, a Walmart associate. Anyway, all right, flashback. Sorry. Moving on here. Tell me what.
He's been an associate at many, many, many establishments.
Tell me what the hell Banana Coin is, Bob.
I wish I knew what Banana Coin was. This is in the bizarre news. Apparently, cryptocurrency is the new JavaScript. There's going to be a new coin out every week instead of a new JavaScript framework. But this one that we're looking at today, Banana Coin. Basically, Banana Coin is a new cryptocurrency that you can own. It's based off of Ethereum. And it is also leveraged against the price of 1 kilogram of organic bananas. Is that right?
Yeah, something to that effect. We'll cover this a little more in the next segment, but
to save the bananas coin,
do we really have to blockchain all the things? I mean,
yes.
At this point, we're going to have to invent nuclear fusion to support all of these cryptocurrencies from a power perspective. Speaking of which, Bitcoin, current prices here, 11,000. As you can see, it's gone up and down. Actually, we're way down from not that long ago. So as you can see, the downward trend on most of these here. Ethereum spiked, but over the last month, but it's also down. Same with Litecoin, just downtrending. And that will be my segue to our Bitcoin crash segment.
Bitcoin crash 2018.
But before we get there, let's take a minute here to look into Bitcoin Pizza, which is down 8% from yesterday. But overall, that pizza's still worth a pretty penny, $117 million.
So we still can't buy it?
We can't buy it. There's been uncertainty in Asia, which we think has contributed to the crash of Bitcoin. And as somebody said there, scared money doesn't make no money. January 17th, at least we found the bottom for now. Bitcoin actually dropped below 10,000. Now, we need to remind everyone that cryptocurrency feels like a casino, and please invest responsibly. It isn't, anyway, let's look at banana coin real quick, because here's a live look at banana coin mining, which is just kind of the shake my head of, do we really need to blockchain all the things? And I don't think we'll cover or spend a whole lot of time on the segment other than, Bitcoin has, lost its luster. I think it's leveling out, like Bob, I think you noticed the other day. Do we have new normals? And if I
think about 10K is the new normal. I think what did we say? 10K for BTC is the new normal. Ethereum's probably $1,000, and Litecoin is. I was gonna say Litecoin was 200, but man, maybe the new normal for Litecoin is 175. I don't know.
Yeah, of course that means all the millions of dollars that I have invested in cryptocurrency fluctuates by the second. And of course, all that millions of dollars that I have invested are in a little video game that I'm going to make, and not for real. So,
we did see an article this weekend, though, when we were doing pre-show that someone is recommending aggressive. Oh, wait. Now here's CNET saying Bitcoin to drop as low as 1,000 this year. What?
Wow. Well,
I'm looking at the ticker along the bottom.
Nothing says panic and scare a sell-off like a headline like that.
Right, but that headline that we saw yesterday said that Bitcoin's going to go back up to 25,000 this year.
So what makes
aggressive buying?
What makes a Bitcoin expert these days?
I don't know. I think to be a professional, you have to get paid, and no one's paid us to buy Bitcoin yet, though.
Let me take the opportunity to do a little rant that I usually share with you privately, Bob. Survivor versus success story. So, a lot of times you'll see on the internet, follow these X number of steps, and you can be just like me too. And I think we see this in the Bitcoin industry where, hey, I somehow lucked into or bought at the right time, and now I'm a millionaire, and you can be one too. All you have to do is dump your life savings into Bitcoin, and you can be one too. Just follow my steps here. And so I think, again, a word of warning to folks, hey, any money you put into cryptocurrency, it's a casino right now. There is actually very, very little practicality in cryptocurrency. In fact, unless you're into bananas, apparently you can own physical bananas or something.
What exchange can you buy banana coin on? I got to find that.
I call it the grocery store, right? You go and buy it. They're like 40 some cents a pound. And then, yeah, you're right. Where do you then turn that into crypto? Oh, Donkey Kong on Nintendo 64. I think that's where, I don't know. It is very confusing. So,
have you ever had the chocolate covered banana coin? Oh, it's great.
I don't know. Yeah, you know what? What I got this weekend was yet another physical cryptocurrency, and I dawned on me, we need to make chocolate coins that are cryptocurrency, but you can't just come buy them. You have to buy them on an exchange, and we want to make sure you eat them so that the only ones who have any actual real tangible chocolate coins are us, and we'll be rich. What do you think?
There's got to be some really bad blockchain jokes in there somewhere.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live, where are you? You need to do something with this. So, okay, Bob, are you ready to get to our special feature?
Yeah, so I think so. So this week, actually, a little over a week ago now, there was we'll call it the Hawaii missile crisis, and it really boiled down to some interesting discoveries with the interface and the UX for sending out alerts. And we thought it would be important to bring in a UX expert to talk to us about this news happening. So we brought in Erica Quessenberry, and we brought her in to talk live.
All right, and without further ado, this is actually a pre-recorded segment, so that's why we're going to suddenly look like we're wearing something different. So I hope you enjoy it, and see you in just a minute.
All right, today we're here with UX expert and all-around great person, Erica Quessenberry. Erica joins us from Bellingham, Washington, and we asked her to join us on the show to discuss the recent UX-related near disaster that happened this past weekend.
Hi, Erica. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Doing all right. In fact, we've got a video here going here. Just to give you a little context, did you kind of watch the news and see what was going on with this whole Hawaii debacle?
Yeah, I think it was kind of unavoidable.
Yeah, so let's see. What was your reaction to seeing the user interface? You've seen the user interface screens on social media?
Yes, I have both, actually 3 versions I think I've seen. Kind of interesting because my initial reaction, because they kept saying button. I listen to NPR in the morning, so it's audio, not visual. But I kept thinking of that scene. I don't know if you guys have seen Monsters versus Aliens, but when they're in the Situation Room and President gets up and he goes to hit that big red button and they're like, no, wait. You're going to set off all our nuclear weapons. And he's like, well, how do I get a latte? Push the other button. And then right next to it was identical button.
So my main question for you is, do you think it's human error or victim of the vendor software?
I think it's, that's hard to ask. I think it's both. But I think it's more on the vendor software than it is on the victim, the human error, because, honestly, they don't have any control over that. They don't have any say in the design. They don't have any voice in what happens. They just go through the paces. And quite frankly, no matter what version of it that it was from those screenshots, I mean, they both could be a lot better.
Bob, what do you think? Victim of the vendor or human error or both? I guess we can allow that one.
I think human error comes from, I looked at the screens. We were talking about this at, dinner the other night. Who wouldn't click? It's kind of a random thing. It's the difference of a word. The biggest thing for me, and I don't know if everyone else is on board with this, is that I can't believe that this was a government-based piece of software that was an alert system.
Yeah, let me jump in there real quick. So you guys are familiar with the RFP process in government, probably, the request for proposals. A lot of people run the hell away from them because, you kind of have to have a degree in RFPs, and most respectable agencies I know run because it's a lot of effort and work. So, Erica, do you think the RFP process makes us more likely to happen again in the future?
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's hugely cumbersome. I don't fill them out. I don't think it's worth it. I waste more time than is worth it to get the job.
Bob, have you ever had to do one?
Oh, we run into them all the time. So it's a 20-page RFP that leads to a 250-page proposal, and nobody reads the proposal or the back half of the RFP. So it's kind of like this. It's literally rolling the dice.
Wow. Yeah, I personally, every time I've been asked to do one, I've put my head in my hands and just hope that it goes away, because it just seems like a colossal waste of time.
Yeah.
So since we have Erica here, though, all right, so what are the suggestions, you being the definite expert here, the three of us in the UX environment? I
think we might have lost Bob there a little bit. Okay, so let me jump in here. So what would you do differently, Erica, I guess, to avoid this sort of situation?
I think you could start small, even if a huge overhaul is not feasible for some reason. The vendors could start small, doing things like maybe naming file systems. Maybe a one-line name is not good enough. Maybe it should be the full alert message showing, so you're actually reading the whole message that you're clicking on to send out. It's only 90 characters, right? So it wouldn't be that much of a big deal. I would also do color coding. Actually, the number one thing that I would do is separate them. Don't even have them in the same list. You would have to go to one specific spot for tests and one specific spot for actual alerts. I think would be the quickest, best thing that you could do for that. And then color coding them. You could even go so far as to put them on separate machines and put the machines in different rooms. So you only use this machine if you're actually going to trigger a real alert. This is life-threatening. There's a whole host of things that to me don't seem like they're that unachievable or that they even be that expensive, but because we are talking about government and bureaucracy, they probably are.
Bob, looks like we dropped you for a little bit. You didn't really miss anything, but Erica, had given I finished your question essentially for you. So did you want to follow up at all?
No, I actually heard Erica's response, and that was great. I mean, I was just looking for her opinions on how it could be treated differently.
Awesome. So I have yet another question. So do you think, Erica, it's possible that the opposite could happen? Meaning, oops, a real missile's coming, and we accidentally send a test message, and what happened? So again, how do we separate? What kind of things should we think about from a user experience? Because the people that are running the system, or not running, but using the system, aren't programmers, and maybe that's a good thing. So, what sorts of UI, UX sorts of advice can you give to someone who would have to program this up?
I would send them on site, send them to Hawaii, especially now. Now would be a great time to be capitalizing on starting that feedback loop with people who are actually using the system. So go to Hawaii, stress test your software, see what other kinds of changes and things come out of that. To me, it sounds like it wasn't stress tested in real life situations. Like they didn't even have a fallback for what happens if we do send out something that turned out to be a false alarm. They didn't even have a situation in place for that. So that's where I would start. I think these vendors, I think Hawaii should look for a new vendor because there are 23 vendors that can handle this situation. So clearly there was a fail on that. But I think number one, get out in the fields and start asking questions.
Bob, what say you? What's your opinion on this whole thing?
I'll take it a scarier step further. What exactly happened, and we've got a guy that's sitting in the big house that's bragging about how his button is bigger, and the verification didn't come through fast enough, and so without that verification, because an accidental message was sent, he pushed his bigger button, and we're in just a shitstorm of a mess.
Well,
I mean, this is really big.
What scares me is, okay, so this was just an emergency alert system. Fortunately, it wasn't as a real missile. Who knows if during the panic somebody got hurt, but imagine the actual software around nuclear missiles, like the actual missiles here in the United States that are in silos or in submarines. Are we that close from nuclear war? Is it not going to be some aggression from some rogue state? Is it going to be because somebody picked the wrong UI item and accidentally started World War III?
I think it's a flinch situation for sure.
Yeah. And I would even venture to say that these accidents have probably happened a lot, but because they happen mostly at a local level and not a state level, and they're mostly going to be about weather or amber alerts, and they're going to be far enough away from people that they don't care about it. I've gotten amber alerts on my phone, and I look at them and I was like, well, that sucks. I hope they find them, but I'd have no way of validating if that message is true or not. So the likelihood that we've all experienced some false alarms is pretty high, probably.
Okay, Erica, I think this has been a very insightful interview, and we want to give you the floor for the next however many seconds you need to tell us and tell really the world a little bit about yourself and how they can reach out and get a hold of you.
Yeah, sure. My name is Erica, like it says on the screen, and I am a UX UI designer, primarily for the web, anything web-based. I work with agencies and developers around the world to learn business goals and user goals and figure out how we can achieve better outcomes on their website. And I can be reached through my website at studioreddesigns.com.
That's awesome. And we'll have a link somewhere in our show description when the time comes. Bob, do you want the final word?
Just thanks for being with us, Erica. You're our first guest, and this was great. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Erica. All right. So we want to thank Erica again for being our first guest and giving us insight on the Hawaii missile crisis. And just to give a little fodder here of fun, I made this little video here
Global thermonuclear war.
It's a great movie.
All right.
Awesome user interface. Oops.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it?
So, Ali Sheedy and Matthew
Broderick.
Thank you. We have the same birthday as Matthew Broderick and I, so I keep forgetting his name. Not the year. He's way older than me. But
we actually watched that with the kids last weekend.
You know, I was going to get it on iTunes, but they wanted like $20 or $15. So not that that's not worth it. I just said, I just bought Short Circuit. So yeah, we're going classic 80s movies. Kids are always like, hey, Dad, what movies did you like when you were a kid? I'm like, oh, Short Circuit. Ever heard of that? You know, number 5 is Johnny 5. Okay. So Erica did reference one other scene, and I think it's worth showing here.
Stop! That button launches all of our nuclear missiles.
Well, then which button gets me a latte?
That would be the other one, sir.
Oh, no, it's that one.
Yeah, I think that's very apropos to the situation in the Hawaii Missile Crisis. Now, we covered a lot of stuff with the interview with Erica. Has anything happened? And that was like on Thursday, I think. Bob, is there anything new since then that you need to cover with us?
I don't think so. I think that, you know, obviously the way the news cycle is here now, we probably stretched that one 3 days past where the rest of the world, they've all moved on. So we'll see what happens next.
Speaking of moving on, Bob, do you know what time it is?
I do know what time it is.
All right.
Quiz
time. Hopefully he's gentle with me this week.
Well, I had 2 different categories I was going to go with, both related to the Hawaii missile crisis or nuclear scare, whatever we're going to call it. And I decided that we would keep it light, and we are going to go with Hawaii trivia.
Oh, gosh.
Now, the only downside with Hawaii trivia is that I am going to butcher a lot of the phrases and words that come up in this quiz. Kevin, have you ever been to Hawaii?
Nope.
I have not been either. So
Okay.
This was an educational quiz research session for me. So ready to get started?
I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to start out with the islands in general. First question is, which island has the nickname the Target Isle? Is it Niihau, Kauai, Lanai, or Kahului?
So right now, I'm not even thinking about Hawaii. I'm thinking about test-taking skills. How to pick the one when you have no idea. So, can I just go with a number because I can't even remember the names?
Sure.
Number 3.
It was not Lanai. It was actually Kahului.
You know, I was going to say it was on the tip of my tongue. How do you say that again? No, yeah, you got me.
All right. So moving right along, what is a hula dancing school called? Is it called a kumu, an academy, a halau, or a reformery?
I want to go with kumu.
And you would be wrong. It is a halau.
You know, Bob, I'm going to come with it next week, just so you know. I'm coming with it. Okay.
Now, remember, this isn't about our egos. This is about educating. Hopefully people are learning out there.
Speak for yourself, Bob.
All right. So the final question. What is the state fish of Hawaii? Is it a sardine, a humpback whale, a bluefin tuna, or a huma una kapawa?
Okay, I think I can disqualify a whale because a whale's not a fish, right? It's a mammal. So aside from that, we're going to go with option 4. Don't ask me how to say it unless I can read it.
I can't even do it. But yes, that is correct. That is the state fish of Hawaii.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so at least I'm 1 for 3. I didn't post a goose egg this week.
I love this segment because it's so disconnected from everything else. Yet connected somehow.
All right. let's just awkward segue to the next segment. So Amazon has their sweepstakes that cities can enter. In fact, they've got an RFP here, which we talked about during the Erica segment, which is everybody's fun thing to do. But when there's so much money at stake, people want to get in on it. And then you've got the 20 cities here.
The short list.
Yeah, the short list that's not so short. And geographically, they're actually kind of all located in one area. So are they tipping their hand on where they're going to be?
Now, the time has come.
And yes, the elimination thing kind of feels a bit theatrical here. But the winner will get $5 billion, at least in their local economy. So, you know, what's
Really,
not to be excited there? How will they remember that the city got built? They will remember it with Amazon Prime. That's right. So the sweepstakes is in full effect, Bob. First, let's start with 20 cities. It's not so short, is it?
No, but you know what? Until you pointed out the geographic aspect to it, I didn't really consider that. I mean, 20 cities is a pretty big list, and at quick glance, it does feel like they're spread out throughout the country, but there's a giant concentration in the northeast quadrant of the United States.
Yeah. Do you think that's like tipping their hand on which direction they're going to go?
Well, I'm sure it's related to all kinds of, research data with population densities, access to employment, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
there's the map. So a few things.
I guarantee Miami is that dot down there. Miami, it's got to be. Right.
It is Miami.
There's no way they're building a center there. Miami might not even exist in the next 3 years.
So because
scary one.
Bob and I are actually closet economists, known in the ways of North American nuances of large capital. Or not.
Yes.
Okay, we're not. So we're just going to totally fire off the cuff here. And I think we can eliminate a couple, right? I mean, Miami.
I don't think they will build in Miami at all. There's no way. That's just not smart.
And LA, is that your industry? I mean, there's a lot of people out there, but do we really want to just go south from, the northwest corner, just basically just go south? What do you gain there, right?
They don't really. Well, I mean, it's going to be a whole nother country soon, so I don't know.
Wow. Hey, what you can always hope, I guess, if you're them. Yeah. All right. Don't get me sidetracked. Denver. I love Denver. Been there often. I do a lot of work through the agency I work for through Denver. Denver makes sense in a lot of ways, but geographically, it stuck out at me when I saw this map and go, "Ooh, what do you gain here?" Because again, you're far from the population. So if you could overlay the population, and if I was a good producer, I would have actually done, like the nighttime map of where the population in America is. It would be to the right of the Mississippi, which would actually eliminate the Texas area, Austin. Even though Austin's a great tech hub,
Denver is hot though.
Denver is hot. So now, if we're going to be homers, we would probably eyeball Chicago and or Indianapolis because we're geographically close to that. And maybe scraps fall off the table, for us. Who knows?
Indy's probably going to be really good for them from a tax perspective. I think it's Indy's. Is there a Tennessee location in there too?
Nashville. Yes.
Nashville's
a great city.
That could be the sleeper.
It could be. I mean, I've been to most of these cities. I'm sure you have too. Nashville and Indianapolis are great because of the high number of in and out. I think Indianapolis beats out Nashville as far as that goes. Interstates in, interstates out. We call Indiana here the crossroads of America, and it's not because you want to stop. It's because usually you're stopping for the restroom and you're gonna keep going. So I love Indiana, but it's when we travel, I mean, we go to Disney World. The Great Lakes are to the north, et cetera, et cetera. Indiana's great. I love it. Going to be here. I don't know if they have a great shot, but I don't think they have a puncher's chance. I'll go with that. But then if you just look at, okay, let's go with Toronto. So there's an international one there too. So if you go north of the border, what kind of international issues would you have doing major shipments? So I think, even though I've been to Toronto and it's great, I think we can pencil that or cross that out, because just think of the imports, exports. I mean, the White House can crush Amazon if they wanted to, just by imposing some sort of tariff, right?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Amazon's got leverage over everyone. So
Okay, great segue. And you and I talked about this. What if, or when a city is awarded, is Amazon basically buying that city? You know, are they buying the government officials? And is this anything new?
well, I mean, what'd you say, 5 billion? And that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good little number. So the crazy thing is, though, I mean, yeah, the city will owe a huge debt to Amazon if they come there. But something to keep in mind is that there's two different ways that the city is going to make revenue off of, you know, there's going to be tons of benefits, you know, large scale employment in that city. There, sales tax, I don't know what the sales tax implications are for a distribution center like that. But there's going to be massive property tax because those buildings are giant.
I can help you with the sales tax. So
what was that?
I can help you with the sales tax. So we used to pay no sales tax in Indiana on Amazon purchases until they had a physical presence. So we have Amazon distribution centers here, and from then on we had to pay taxes. But I think there's also additional legislation that says no. I mean, we pay tax on all Amazon purchases from Amazon.
The city will benefit from the sales tax then.
I think so. The only ones we don't pay tax on yet is if it's a third party not named Amazon. So if it's fulfilled by Amazon or something like that, but it's not coming from Amazon, there's like still a tiny loophole. But you're right. I think tax revenue is going to be a big deal. So there are huge positives here. So I don't want to just kind of like, you know, throw the darts and go, aha, oh, you know. But I mean, this is great. Everyone, I mean, 20 cities are all like, yeah, we'll take it.
Oh yeah, there's people like, I mean, it's almost like it's probably bigger than the Olympics presentations to get them to come there.
And yeah, this is very much the Hunger Games or almost like a March Madness tournament. You know, maybe we should have filled out a bracket and they should like go head to head. Or maybe, I don't know if you watch The Voice, maybe we should have knockout rounds where they all have to perform and, you know, and somebody can steal, like, you know, Jeff Bezos can steal it from whoever, you know, else is on this committee. Anyway, so there's a huge concentration around the Washington, D.C. area.
Is that where the 3 dots are?
Yeah, it's like that little trinity of dots there. I haven't actually been to New England. Yes, sorry, I'm pushing 40 and I've never been to New England.
It's because you hate the Patriots.
I do hate the Patriots, and I'm okay with that. Go Colts. Okay. So what do you, I don't know, you ever been out Northeast there?
Yeah, I've done some trips out there without a doubt.
What's your feeling? Do you think
space is a premium there? So I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's going to be concentrated closer to the Midwest than out east. I really do.
So since you're in the burbs of Chicago, can we say the same thing about Chicago? Because every time I go to Chicago, I'm like, God, this is just gridlock hell. There is nothing but toll roads here. And oh, by the way, try not to get shot.
Well, I would, hey, easy. I would say that if they're looking at Chicago as a location, they're not looking at Chicago proper. It's not like they're going to take over the merchandise mart. So it's probably going to be someplace west of the city.
Okay.
So it closer to out by me. And there, you know, there is some space out here still.
All right, Bob. Oh,
yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We had talked before the show that we are going to actually predict the winner of the Amazon 2 headquarters.
But we're not going to predict it for you to hear today.
That's right. We have some special equipment. I call this the magic marker of Amazon, whatever. And I'm going to write on a piece of paper the actual winning city. And I'm going to put it in this envelope. And Bob, you're going to do the same. Is that correct?
I have my envelope right here, and I'm already started writing my city name.
Me too. And this makes for terrible visual. I can't even spell here.
Did you hear me rip it off my pad?
I did, and I have it
holding it up right now.
Same here. I am going to put it in the envelope, and
putting it in my envelope.
This is gonna. Why didn't I get the sticker kind of envelopes? I got the lit kind.
Me too.
God.
Breakfast.
All right, so I will probably put this back here behind me on the wall, like tape it, and then the day that it gets revealed in real life, the following show, Bob and I will reveal our selections. And, you know, it would have been way more interesting if we had something at stake, you know, like if one of us win, you know, but...
Wait, I thought we got $5 billion if we were right.
I don't know. I think it's support@amazon.com. We can send that email and see what the details are. So anyway, we'll post that, and we'll have a future reveal on all of that. So I'm going to take the time now to do a shameless self-promotion for the show. And if you would do us a favor and hit the subscribe button. Subscribers are very important to us. Liking the show. YouTube has an algorithm, and yes, we want to hack the system. The only way to hack the system is to give us subscriptions and likes. And of course, we actually want you to like us and subscribe because you want to be here. So of course, you can give us feedback at Bob and Kevin Show, YouTube comments. We had a ton of content today. We'll have more links in the description than we've probably ever had before. And
oh, wow. Good point.
yeah, so it'll take us a bit to get everything in there, but we will get it for you guys. We do have a campaign that is the Bob and Kevin 250. We want to get to 250 subscribers. We also want to boost each episode to 250 views per week. So if you could help us out there, that would be great. We want to refer a friend, right? We want to somehow, we're in the midst of developing some sort of contest where you get some fancy prizes, maybe even that fidget thing. Bob, can you hold it up? But not that one.
But not mine.
But I'm sure Bob will sell it to you for the right price. So we'll figure out some sort of contest because what we want is subscribers. So, Bob, final word.
Final word is this felt super fun today, and I am fired up for the rest of the week now. So go forth and be forthful.
All right. And you've got one more thing you want to tell us.
Bring the lightning.